Hi again. This video, the purpose of it is I'm going to walk you through the SRS system. And so if you already know how to use SRS or are you writing your IEP on a different system, feel no need to watch this. I have my confused look on, which some of you may have, so I thought it was appropriate. So really all I'm going to do, I'm going to share my screen and we're going to go into the SRS system. And I'm going to walk you through page by page so you can see exactly what's there. Here we go. All right, so I am in the system. And this is, once you log in, you'll be able to go in here and be able to see what it looks like. The first thing that you will do is you will come into students, you will choose, you are going to do a new student, and you will complete this page on yourself, naming it after you. So up here, the notified I can do today, and I'm going to name this after myself. Okay. The ID you don't need to do, just look over here and you'll be able to see the asterisk being what you need to do. Schools will be the pull down. I should be the only one available. It will be a public student school. Make the age of the student, if you're going to be doing elementary, which I believe everybody is doing an elementary student, make it a student that's age-wise would be in elementary school. That way, then that transition page doesn't open up for you and you kind of see what it really looks like. So again, grade, ethnic group, primary language, I would stick with English. It's not an ELL student. It's not a ward of the state. Again, if a student is a ward of the state, you need to be making sure that you have, if educational rights are been removed from the parent or not. If they have been removed, you then have to do a surrogate parent. You can do your own address, make up an address for the rest of this information. Surrogate parent been appointed, it'd be no, because they're not needed. Okay. When you're done, then it should automatically save for you and go to another page. After you have this done, let me pull up a student. Oops. Let's do. I'm just going to pull up a former student. You will then go into, so you'll have this saved. This will be what comes up. You'll go to choose. Parents and guardian is next. Up here, you're going to choose a new parent and you'll make up this information. At this point, it doesn't matter what information you're using. It just needs to make sure that it matches with what, it just needs to match. You just have to have it made up. It doesn't really matter for anything. I can find you as long as it's named after you. Okay, so then I'm going to back out and get out of parents. Okay, after you're done with that, it's either here or it might be up above. You're going to go down to student forms. You will create a form on SRS just like it is on the Synergy system, on everything. Really what they're trying to do is consolidate all of those forms, live on the same software system. So you can see here, all of these are part of the SRS system. So you're not having to create things in a lot of different locations. It's all consolidated for the students here. You are going to come down to the IEP page, which I jumped over, but it's just IEP. It's not notifications, IEP. I don't even know where they jumped me to. Page. Let me back out of this because I am not where I want to be. Okay. So I am coming down to the IEP that's already been completed so you can be able to see it. This is page number 1. You will make up names for this. Again, you've got your case study. It is in the main IEP assignment place. Pull either one that you want. Again, as I said, I think everybody will be doing an elementary student. You'll make up the names of who needs to be in attendance. Parents should be there. I highly believe the student should be there. A gen ed teacher is required by law, obviously as a special ed teacher. Whoever is representing the district, a coordinator, an administrator of some kind. The individual to interpret results is typically the school psychologist. If you've got students that are maybe living out of the home, or if they're older and they're getting voc rehab, some of these others people may need to be attendants. The service agency representative, the non-public representative. If it's a student speech path, or you've got hearing, vision, OTPT, then you can just add other people as needed. Going to page 2. This is the information that you'll start getting from the case study. What is the student's strengths? Okay, this is not test scores. You'll see test scores here. That is incorrect. It's just I happen to pull this one up. This is really, as a student, who are they? What strengths do they have as a person? Next, what do the parents have as concerns? These are the places, and you'll see some of my feedback within your articles. You should tell the parents and have them come prepared with what are their concerns. Have them think about it rather than just asking them in the meeting. Yes, maybe they've been to meetings before, but it's a very overwhelming process when you've got all these professionals talking about your child and it may not be in the best light. Have them come prepared. What do they see as strengths? What do they see as their concerns? Recent evaluations will be your main scores. So like you can see the WISC, the RAP, the PIATS, the behavior, whatever that main testing is that you're seeing that your school does. The district-wide, those are your NESAs, any CRTs that you do, those annual tests that are done that all kids take. If you think reading about the student that behavior is an issue, you're going to say, yes, what is the behavior that's an issue? And then what do you think would be a good behavior intervention? Please notice it says positive, so be thinking of your PBIS strategies in order to put this together. The rest of the page really goes through all the other disability areas: communication, vision, deaf, hard of hearing, if you need language, ELL, assistive technology. If not, you'll see this box that says considered but not necessary. Just check it. You will want up here for all of these numbers to be black. That indicates that you've completed them. And you can also spell check every single page as you go through it. This is where you write your present level of academic and functional performance. You will separate each of them by the content area where you see, and I have identified that there are struggles for this student. Again, pulling that information from the case study, it's much easier to label them reading, math, behavior, so other readers, other teachers, the parents can clearly see where are the struggles. As I mentioned in my other video, then you can also see that there's specific test scores in here that give you the basis for your baseline to set those goals. If you write present level of performance, I will anticipate seeing goals written in this area. So I would think I would see a reading, a math, and a behavior one. Next page is my goals. All you need to do for my assignment is to write good goal statements, okay? So having all those, so it starts with given an untimed math test, okay? What's the behavior? We're looking at decimal multiple division problems. This will probably be a little bit more narrow in focus than what you would do when you're looking at something going to happen on an annual basis, but I don't give you the whole world in front of you. So if it's more narrow, that's okay. If you want to go back and look up grade level norms, use grade level norms. That's absolutely fine. So it has the baseline to where you want the student to go, the criteria. How are you measuring it on a math probe, by when? Okay, so that's everything. And right here, you can't see because this is a completed one. You can add the different goal tabs. And so you will want to add a goal for each one that you're writing. Don't write them all here. How are you going to measure performance? Legally, it has to be done as often as a general education student. So just pick one. How is this going to be measured? Then based on how often, you'll just make up these dates at the bottom. Okay, and you'll do that on those 3 pages. 5, I'm skipping over because that's a transition page, not required for elementary students. Page 6 is then where are the services going to occur? Legally, it's how involved. So we all know that least restrictive environment starts in the general education classroom. So you're going to be thinking about this student and go, where are their needs going to be best served? Can they be in the classroom? Do they need pull-out resource room? Do they need co-teaching? Do they need it maybe in just reading, but they don't need pull-out in math? You're just writing a sentence here that describes the services that will be provided. Pull down menu, special instruction. Your dates are always the beginning date and then 1 day short from the following year. So this would be 10/15/2014 to 10/14/2015. This assures that your IEPs always stay in compliance because when the Department of Education comes out for audits, they're going to make sure that they've been done year to year. It'll happen in a public school. Guesstimate the amount of minutes, typically for 5 days a week. Follows the calendar. Here, sadly, I can't show you this, but there is right here a blue pull-down menu that if you click on will open what looks like this page and will give you suggestions for accommodations. This is not on Centergy, and I think it's kind of an issue, actually, because new teachers don't really think through everything that they could be providing. Put the accommodations that are vital for the student's success. As a special education teacher, it is your job to ensure that the students know, or not know, that the students are receiving all of their accommodations. And so you have to monitor those. So if you have 55 million of them, you're not, going to know really if they're being put into place or not. So be specific. I would say she has a few too many here to really be able to know that they're always being given, but it's not bad. And then the CSIS information down here, again, your administrator will tell you. A is where are they receiving special ed support with regular ed peers, without, and then where are they in gen ed with no support. So just guesstimate what those numbers are. Next page outlines transportation. Typically, kids are not getting transported anymore unless they've got severe physical and potentially behavior disabilities. So typically not. This is going to cost money. Your administrator is probably the best person to tell you that. How does the student need accommodations on assessment? This goes beyond that assessment or that accommodation page I just showed you. This is specific and has to be completed prior to receiving any kind of district-wide assessment accommodations. If it's not here, it does not happen. So what she had was extended time. That way then it can be provided. Extended time, multiple breaks, alternative location, a scribe, they say it or they're writing it. All of those are things that can be done. And then lastly, extended school year services. Typically, again, unless you've got very involved kids, this costs for kids to be able to attend school, and this is saying that the district would pay for it. So again, typically you're not going to have this unless you're working with more severe students. So that's what this looks like. Super easy to work through. some of you may be looking at this in comparison to Synergy. It looks 100% different. Depending on who you talk to, it's easier or it's harder. I am in Safari because I am not really doing anything. Please make note you should be in Firefox or Internet Explorer. It has a potential to lock up on you in anything else. So please make sure that you sign into that. I have it written out on the forms just in case you miss it. Last piece, once you have this done, my idea then is that you're creating just a one-page cheat sheet for general education teachers. It gives them the most important information about the student. What do they really need to be able to know? Let's come back over here. Still confused. What do they really need to know how to do? I teach a gen ed class, and one of the things I get is, so I have to know the whole IEP. I have to be able to understand it. I have to be able to look at it, know where the accommodations are. And if they've got 25, 30 other kids and 4 of them are on IEPs, it's really hard to always track that. So just give them a one-page sheet. What do you think is the most important information? Put that on the sheet in a creative, organized fashion, and you'll submit that in as well. So if you're doing the IEP on SRS, at the due date, I am able to access it. You don't have to do anything except upload your one-page cheat sheet. If you are doing this on your own system, or I don't have access to you because you're not in my school, the Kemp school, then you have to download it, get rid of the confidential information, and scan it all back to me. So that's how that will work. So kind of a brief overview. If you have specific questions about using the SRS system or get stuck, shoot me an email and I'll get right back to you. Alrighty, don't be confused. Have fun.